Hey, I was just watching this episode of SciShow Talk Show, and Derek from Veritasi was on it saying, oh, is that the one about the chemical bonding energy? Hey, how did you... Oh, you sent it to me, didn't you? Welcome to the Science Asylum. I am Nick Lucid. In that episode of SciShow, Derek says this.
That bonds are kind of a signal not of energy being there, but of energy not being there.
And this.
Things are bound not by the energy they have, but by the energy they have lost.
He's technically right, but I think he's putting a little too much stock in the numbers. I'm guessing you have a better way? Indeed I do. Bonds are pretty small and kind of abstract though, so let's start with something a little more familiar. Gravity. Awkward M is down here on the ground, so she has 0 potential energy. My clone is up here on this hill, so he has potential energy greater than 0 related to his height above the ground. There's nothing all that special about the ground though. If we call the ground 0, then the potential energy of the subway car is negative. What does that even mean? I could just as easily have labeled the subway at 0. This makes both of them positive, but then my secret underground lab is still negative. It's like you're saying the actual value of energy doesn't matter. That's exactly what I'm saying. Usually what a physicist does to settle this argument is choose 0 where nothing could ever be. Infinity. In other words, 0 potential energy is at the ends of the universe, which makes all potential energies negative, including the moons. That's exactly what Derek means when he says,
the energy they have lost.
But we're going to be a little more careful interpreting things. Choosing infinity is just mathematically convenient for astrophysics. Here on Earth, Anyway, here on Earth, other choices might be more convenient. The universe does not care how we label it. Things only happen when energy transforms. So only the differences really matter. The cake is a lie. So what does this have to do with atoms? Good question, transition clone. We saw in the video on temperature that chemical energy is just the potential energy between atoms and molecules. Just like the Earth and the Moon have gravitational potential energy, atoms, or more specifically their electrons, have electrical potential energy. But did you notice what I did there? I said the atoms or electrons have the energy, not the bonds. You're so used to seeing molecules like this with all these bars connecting the atoms. Yes, that's duct tape. It's cheap, okay? An atomic bond isn't any more tangible than the bond that holds you on the Earth, or the Moon in orbit. I mean, it doesn't look like this or anything. Wait. Doesn't your body get energy from chemical bonds? No, it gets it from chemicals, not chemical bonds. If you've taken an intro biology class, you've probably heard of cellular respiration. You eat some food and inhale some air. These things chemically react inside your body to make breath, some water, and a bunch of energy for you to use. But that can be extremely misleading. Energy only exists to be possessed by particles, and by things made of those particles. Energy is not standalone. So this is incomplete. This energy isn't just floating around in your body. About 60 to 70% of it becomes kinetic energy in the surrounding molecules, which we know as body heat. The other 30 to 40% goes into a bunch of molecules called ATP, which is built from 2 other molecules you have just floating around. So the actual process looks more like this. The energy your body uses is possessed by ATP. Now let's bring it all together. The universe does not care how you label things. It doesn't do any math. It just works. Whether an energy is negative or positive simply depends on what you label 0. In physics, that's usually the ends of the universe, which makes all potential energy negative. Physicists like that because it makes all bonds mathematically the same. But that's just a convenience. In biology, you're not really concerned with the overall meaning of a bond. You just need something that works. You could label 0 at infinity, or you could just look at the chemical process you're dealing with, find the set of molecules with the lowest energy, and call that 0. This will make the rest of your energies positive, and the concept of negative energy is completely avoided. There's no universal truth in either label choice. Lastly, the energy isn't in the bond. A bond is a completely abstract thing. The energy is in the atoms. We only call it a bond because under these circumstances, the atoms don't stray too far from each other. When you go from a higher energy to a lower energy, the lost energy doesn't disappear or start floating around on its own. It goes into other atoms, molecules, or particles. That's true whether you're a molecule, a person, or a planet. So, has one of your bonds ever turned out to be negative energy? Let us know in the comments. Several of mine certainly have. And until next time, remember, it's okay to be a little crazy.